Every year, the roars of thousands echo through stadiums as WrestleMania crowns new legends. But few know that behind the spectacle, buried deep beneath the lights and legacy, lies a tale too dark for the spotlight. This story never aired on pay-per-view. It wasn't recapped by analysts, and no one, not even WWE's top brass, has dared to speak of it since. It happened in New Orleans, WrestleMania X Couture. A night filled with record-breaking cheers, dazzling entrances, and historic matches. Yet, hidden in the shadow of triumph, was a chilling encounter. One that changed the fate of a rising superstar forever. Some say the ring. That night wasn't just a stage, it was a trap. Crew members whispered about strange cold spots during setup. A cameraman reportedly quit mid-rehearsal, pale as a ghost. One wrestler claimed he saw someone in the ring long after rehearsals ended. A dusty figure that didn't belong to anyone on the roster. He brushed it off. Everyone did. Until the main event. That's when the lights flickered, not as part of the show. The temperature plummeted, and during a move that had been rehearsed countless times, something went wrong. Horribly wrong. The match ended, but not how it was scripted. The audience saw a fall, a tragic accident. But those behind the curtain knew. The ring had claimed someone. For real. This is the untold story of the ring that should have never been used, and the ghost that refuses to leave it. In the months leading up to WrestleMania, WWE's creative team had pinned their hopes on a new breakout star, Jason Riker. Known for his punishing in-ring style and magnetic charisma, Jason was already being called the next Undertaker by fans and insiders alike. At just 28, he had headlined multiple Raw episodes, captured the Intercontinental Championship twice, and built a rabid following online. This WrestleMania was meant to be his coronation. A clean win against a legacy wrestler in the main event. The script was airtight. The merchandise was printed. The pyrotechnics team had rehearsed the show-stopping entrance 3 times. Jason would rise from a coffin-shaped lift beneath the stage, step into a ring surrounded by flame jets, and face his veteran opponent, Marcus Steele, a real-life mentor and wrestling legend. But strange things began happening as soon as they arrived in New Orleans. Their gear truck was delayed by a flat tire, not once but twice on different routes. Jason's hotel room card inexplicably stopped working every night at 3:17 a.m. Housekeeping reported seeing someone, tall, pale, and barefoot, standing silently in the hallway outside his door. Backstage, things were off too. Jason noticed the ring felt heavy, like the canvas dragged his boots. The turnbuckles creaked even when untouched. When he mentioned it, others laughed, but production assistant Mel Torres admitted she had the same eerie feeling. "It's like something's watching," she whispered one night. And not from the crowd. The ring itself had been trucked in from a facility that hadn't been used in years. V had leased the ring last minute from an old supplier after their usual ring was damaged during a house show. It had history, used for dark matches in the late 90s, most of which weren't televised. Rumors swirled that a rookie once died in that very ring during training. The body had reportedly seized mid-practice, eyes wide open, mouth locked in a silent scream. No official record existed. But old-timers spoke of it quietly, calling the ring the grave mat. Jason, ever the professional, tried to shake it off. He stuck to his training, followed the choreography, and kept his mind on the prize. But each night before the event, his dreams grew worse. Visions of a match that never ended, an audience with no faces, a referee with stitched lips, and himself, trapped under the mat, screaming as blood leaked through the canvas from above. He, Didn't tell anyone. Marcus Steele, his opponent, noticed the change. "You good, kid? You look like death warmed over." "Just nerves," Jason lied. The morning of WrestleMania, Jason arrived at the Superdome early. The production team was already prepping entrances. He walked to the ring alone and stood there in the silence of the massive stadium. He listened, and something answered. A breath, right behind him. He turned. No one, but the ring ropes trembled. Later, during rehearsal, the ref slipped and twisted his ankle stepping into the ring. An LED panel shorted out in a burst of sparks, and for a split second, the Jumbotron glitched, showing not Jason's promo video, but a black screen with one phrase, "Someone must stay." The tech team blamed a file corruption. Jason didn't believe it. Not anymore. He wanted to back out. He paced the locker room, heart pounding, hands trembling. But he knew what walking away would mean, for his career, his image, his fans. So when the time came, Jason suited up. The black and silver leather coat, the gloves, the face paint, the pyros erupted, the coffin lift rose, and Jason Riker walked into the ring that never forgot. The energy in the stadium was electric as Jason made his entrance, yet something felt wrong. The crowd was roaring, but to Jason it all sounded muffled, like he was submerged underwater. The lights, brighter than ever, flickered just slightly off beat with the theme music. The ring ropes twitched on their own before he even touched them. The bell rang. Marcus Steele charged first. Quick, rehearsed, safe. They moved through the planned spots seamlessly at first. The audience roared as the momentum built. But every time Jason hit the mat, it felt colder. Not just physically, emotionally, like some part of him was being drained. Then it started happening. Jason whipped Marcus into the ropes. Marcus rebounded, except the ring warped. Not visibly, not to the audience, but Jason saw it. For a split second, Marcus's body lagged behind his motion, like a skipped frame in a video file. Jason blinked. It was gone. Next came the sound. A whisper. Faint, like a voice under the mat. "Count it." Jason froze. Marcus had to break character to shove him into the next move. "You okay, kid?" Jason nodded numbly, but the voice came again. "Count it. Count the 3. At that moment, Marcus went for a powerbomb. Jason countered, just like they'd practiced, but the mat gave way. Not much, just a soft sagging, enough to throw off his balance. Jason fell awkwardly. His neck hit the edge of the bottom rope. The referee jumped in, waving the match off. The audience thought it was real. It was. Jason didn't move. Trainers rushed in. The lights cut without warning. For 12 full seconds, the stadium went pitch black. When the backup lights came on, Jason was gone. Not backstage, not under the ring, gone. Backstage erupted in chaos. Marcus Steele screamed for help. Security swarmed the area. The ring crew tore open the mat, expecting to find Jason underneath, unconscious or hiding. Nothing. Only the substructure, boards, padding, and steel. But the cold lingered. Production halted. The feed was cut. Commentators stumbled, threw apologies, calling it a serious medical emergency. Fans were ushered out. Officials demanded footage be confiscated. The camera feeds were reviewed. Every angle. Jason Riker collapsing, and then vanishing between frames. Just gone. No one could explain it. Not even frame-by-frame analysts. The locker room went quiet for days. Wrestlers avoided eye contact. Trainers cried. Marcus quit 2 weeks later. The next day, a letter arrived at WWE HQ. No return address. Inside was a single Polaroid photo of the WrestleMania ring, taken from the bow rafters. Jason Riker stood in the center, eyes black, arms outstretched, grinning. That photo was never made public, but those who saw it say it looked like Jason was waiting for someone to tag in. Years passed. WrestleMania 64 team became a ghost entry in my WWE archives, officially remembered for title changes and crowd records, but never for the match that never aired. Jason Riker's name was quietly erased from merchandising, his action figures pulled, his footage redacted from highlight reels. Fans who asked about him were met with silence or vague answers about career-ending injuries. But whispers persisted. Independent investigators, paranormal podcasts, and ex-employees began piecing together the fragments. Reddit threads documented eerie coincidences, footage corruption every time someone tried to upload clips of that WrestleMania. Janitor claiming he saw boot prints on the ceiling of the Superdome locker room weeks after the event. A child in the crowd who told his parents, "The man in the ring is stuck under it now," just moments after Jason's collapse. Meanwhile, Marcus Steele never returned to WWE. He moved far north, took a job as a park ranger in British Columbia, and refused to speak publicly. Once, on a rare podcast appearance under a false name, he said, "Some rings are built with wood, steel, and rope. That one had something else in it, something that wanted to finish what started years ago." In private wrestling schools, old trainers began sharing the tale, not as a horror story but as a cautionary one. Never step into a ring that's been forgotten. Never ignore the chill before showtime. And if you ever hear the phrase "count the 3" whispered in your ear, when no one's there, run still. On certain nights, usually around early April, people claim the WWE network glitches at exactly 3:17 a.m. A match appears briefly in the classic section. No thumbnail, no date, just a title, incomplete. If you manage to click it in time, it shows a single looping image, grainy black and white, of a wrestler lying motionless in the ring. Arms stretched, eyes wide, mouth grinning unnaturally, and the canvas pulses more like something beneath it is breathing. They say WrestleMania makes legends, but only one became a ghost. Years from now, new wrestlers will train, new storylines will be written, and new champions will rise. But somewhere in the vault of forbidden WWE footage, locked behind passwords no one remembers, there lies one match that no one dares to re-watch. And sometimes, when the lights go out after a show and the arena is empty, a faint thud echoes from the ring. 3 slow, deliberate knocks, like a hand beneath the mat, still trying to finish the count. Because that night, something didn't end. It only tagged in.